That's you, Sharon. Okay, sige lang. Yung break. I had break too. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Now let's go back to beyond walls of pain. We have this period when people are traumatized by a lot of things. And you find that when they're traumatized, their nervous system, it's freaking out people. That anytime they receive that episode of being traumatized, they like the pain in them. They remember the pain. So how do you advise or what do you tell a young person who is trying to heal and their body is still frozen to bridge the gap?
I mean, when it comes to when it comes to relieving past traumas, it is important that first you acknowledge you have the trauma. Acknowledgement and acceptance is the first and foremost most important thing. You don't know a problem that you don't even identify. How would you know that you have the problem that you actually don't know that you have? It's by contact will acknowledge I have a problem. And the problem that I had is that I relieve my past traumas. 1, 2, who can be able to help me? Who is in a position, who is more knowledgeable in this particular point or particular problem, who is more knowledgeable to be able to help you in the best way possible. Your friend is not a psychologist. 1, your friend is not a psychologist. So don't go and trauma dump on them. Tell them how, for example, I was really beaten by a security guy. I don't know. No, your friend is not a psychologist. A psychologist is a professional who has attained the accreditation to be able to help people in that capacity. So then you move from, you know who is supposed to help you. Then how do you get to them? We have social media. We have recommendations from other people that this particular person is equipped enough to help you in your particular problem. If it was a religious problem, then you would go to your pastor. If you are sick, you would go to a doctor. Then why is it that when you have a relapse of a trauma, you go to your friend? Is your friend a psychologist? If they so happen to be a psychologist, then the better for you. But in most cases, they're not. Your friend is just a psychologist. So why are you going to trauma dump of them? Then people would come to you and be like, hey, but that is a physical violence trauma. And you're not even giving them a heads up. That is why when you see, this is a heads up when you see very traumatizing movies. They first give a disclaimer and tell you, but this may contain elements of violence and assault, right? But when it comes to your friend, come on, but hey, you need to be considerate of other people's emotions and feelings. Be like, by the way, can I share this particular thing with you? Do you have the capacity to handle what I'm about to share to you? Because it's heavy. And they'll be like, yes or no. If they say no, they have more the right to say no, that they will have the more right to ask them. And you need to respect that. But if they say yes, you're able to tell them. But if you tell them you're just sharing, they are not in the capacity to help you. So what do you need to do? You need to see somebody who is well equipped enough to help you in that particular point.
That's a good point. That takes us to our next question. What are some simple grounding techniques a young person can use when the trauma-induced silence starts to feel overwhelming?
And it boils down to the same point. Talking to a person who is equipped. Talk to them. Anytime you feel like you are it's bothering you or it's hurting you, talk to somebody who is equipped enough to help you with that particular thing.
When you say about talking to people, some may feel like they'll be rejected. Yes, they don't know the leisure, but you have that fear like,
but then again, you're not just talking to anyone. If you're talking to a regular friend, then you feel some type of way about rejection, about how they could see you in a decent light. But if you're talking to a professional is there to help you, right?
But let's say you don't have that professional person to talk to. You only have your family and the social people.
Why?
But you feel like you tell them mama, but at a like here that trauma is something that has happened beyond your family.
But you know, it boils down to people who are more approachable. There are parents who are more approachable to talk to. You tell them, but then unajua, Nairobi, siku rahisi vile unafikiria. I am actually struggling to pay my rent, to get food. And akwambia, you can just come back home. It's never that serious. So there are parents who are not approachable. There are friends who are approachable. There are those who are not. Sindio, it's just discernment on who you're going to talk to about your problems.
I mean, so we choose who to talk to. Yeah. Okay. And our next question is, how do we turn a history of rejection into a healing journey rather than a dead end?
I think one line that I will actually keep on repeating is that rejection is redirection. You could feel the worst way. You could feel like, hey, umsiaone like niko na capacity ya kuchukua hii job. It could be, it's actually not your time. It could be actually a redirection. Be like, well, this place I'm not going the way I want to. I can actually apply to other places. And you actually find that, but imagine, nyota yako haikuwa hapa. Iwe place and you may apply. So rejection is redirection to other opportunities and other opportunities and engagements and other people to get to know too. Because mtakuwa rejected hapa, utakuwa accepted somewhere else. The faster you get over the fear of rejection, the more progress you make.
So that we avoid being having that fear of rejection, and also choose who to talk to.
Have discernment on who to talk to.
Have discernment to who to talk.
Choose is very discernment because the initial knowledge and way of choosing criteria of choosing on who to ask to for. You could actually choose you, but at the end of this, you could actually choose someone. But they do not have the capacity to be able to help you. But you can actually have a certain feel like, I can actually talk to this person. They actually have the knowledge to be able to help me. So choose and discernment. Discernment is more preferable.
Richard, did you have any questions? You're smiling.
So I have a question.
Yes.
The question that I have, you said that you choose or discern. So what is the difference between choosing and discerning?
Choose me. Random. Can just choose it. But discernment is try engage. Discernment is where you bring some sort of criteria towards people you can actually tell. Discernment is being like, by the way, these two people I can talk to. Yes. But who has the capacity? Now discernment plays in now. You've just chosen these two. You've just chosen these two people. But discernment is now in done. Now like Shell. But Shell is at a place where she cannot be able to be relatable to me. But I can talk to Christy. Christy is more relatable. She's quiet, but she is in a more capacity to be able to help me.
Who in the room has any question about that?
The first experience just acknowledge that you have already gone through them because you cannot be able to change them. Okay. As you know, some experiences are hard to accept. But the more they are hard to accept, the more they are hard to get over. Yeah. So what yeah. Actually, but the acceptance does not come very easy. It doesn't come very easy. When it comes to things like trauma. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, you are defined by a relative that you had trusted. Defined by being, for lack of a better word, raped by a relative, right? When you're being defined by somebody that you had trusted, accepting that it happened to you is difficult. But changing that it has already happened. It has already happened. You cannot change that it has already happened to you. But all you can do is that I accept with the way this person defined me. But how do I move past me being defined? Because you cannot build an identity off of I am the person who was defined. That is not a sustainable way to go about it. But acceptance comes slowly. It comes slowly when it actually rings to you. By the way, for me to move to the next step of my life, I need to accept it has already happened. But what strategies and what ways can I put up around myself to go past it? It's hard. It's never going to be. Actually, haitawahi kuwa rahisi. Ilikuwa ni rahisi kujaribu kujevea bedhe ilihapenia. si rahisi kujiambia hivyo. But sasa you need to go to the next step of your life. And the next step of your life needs for you to forgive yourself that it happened to me. I forgive myself that it happened to me. It has happened to many other people. But I need to get over this bad thing. You will forever remember it because it happened to you, but you need to go past it.
Hold up, Sharon. You're saying that we need to accept, and you've said that we need to set up strategies. What are these strategies that you're telling us to set up?
And these strategies will be put up by somebody who is better equipped to help you, better equipped to handle trauma. Because when you're talking about a person who is a psychiatrist or a psychologist in this particular place, they have dealt with this particular situation and they know how your mind thinks at this particular point, how your body stores up trauma, how you relate to other people about this particular thing that you went through. Therefore, they are more better equipped to give you the strategies to go around it and trying to get over it.
So you need the only person who can help me, the psychiatrist.
It depends on what trauma. The trauma. If you're talking about being defined, that is a medical doctor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If you're talking about religious struggles, about you being able to know that the work of life goes a particular way. But I need to know more of God. Then who do you speak to? You speak to your pastor, you speak to your youth leader, you speak to the reverend, the person in charge. It depends. It's circumstantial in regards to what you're getting. It's circumstantial based on what you're facing, basically.
And now if you said we'll speak to them, then I have that a secret of nitamwambia alafu atatangaza.
But you've just spoken about feeling the fear and do it. What do you have to do when you go and tell them?
When you feel like atatangaza, I won't show my face again outside there. Atatangaza.
So you feel like your pastor will give you as an example at church. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord again. There is a girl who came to me. Shed, stand out. She told me, it can't happen.
When you have never seen those, let's say for example, you painted a mother.
So your pastor is not trustworthy.
Well, I'm just saying there are some pastors or some people when we talk to them.
But that is where I was talking about discernment. Choose and discernment. Choose is just, I can choose you. But discernment is like, I have these two people who has the capacity to be able to handle this kind of trauma. Who is better equipped to help me? Who is better equipped to listen to me? Who is better equipped and trustworthy to tell this particular information to?
I guess I hope your question is answered. So you have to choose who. No, you're not going to choose.
You are going to discern.
Discern. You have to discern.
Not just truth, but discern.
Don't choose discern. And that leads to our last questions. And no, I want you to give an advice to the people watching on beyond words of things. Your advice to them. How will they overcome it in general?
I feel like, or rather, I would say that trauma, pain, we all go through very different things in the walks of life. Be it at work, be it at school, be it in our families, in our walk of life. We basically go through different challenges outside our scope, different things, different people. I believe we need to create spaces where people are open enough and vulnerable enough to speak about their experiences, not just the facade and the superficial part about life and how you're making more money, how you're making more steps, how now you just bought a new car. But it's okay to speak about your achievements and how well you're being at life. But we need to be more vulnerable to our personal experiences and letting other people know that imagine siwe peke yako unapitia hiyo kitu. But then pia mimi nishailala njaa. But then unajua pengine kuna siku nyingine ndofungiwa nyumba. Kuna watu wengi hapa wamefungiwa nyumba, but I feel like it's like I'm the only person who goes through it because the only thing we talk about is our achievements. But in our lives, we go through different things that shape our life. And if I'm able to come and tell you, by the way, there was a certain point I struggled to be confident. I felt like people were judging me. But that is in your mind. People haven't judged you. Actually, there was an experiment. I think it was done in the University of Yale or Harvard. It was a person who had a red cape and had and then there was another person who had colored hair, like a dyed hair, which was a bright color. And then there was a person told Ebu, look at the camera. What do you think about that person? Because when they actually look good in that hair, but wewe ukijiangalia you'll be like, hey, nakan kama niko out of place. In your head, you feel like you're out of place. And then the other person say, if we look at that person with the cape and the swag, what do you think about them? They'll be like, actually, they look so cool. I love what they dress and I love the shoes, their cape. But what do you think about yourself? You think that you're out of place. You think like you're so bold. You think like you're not what society puts you to be. So when you actually do what you feel like you want to do, stop being so over in your head. Try and give yourself affirmations. Feel like, by the way, I am the person that I think I am. Imagine I'm the baddest videographer. Imagine I'm the baddest speaker that you ever meet. When you gas yourself up, you get over the fear of what people actually see you or perceive you to be like, and you actually go for it. You actually go for it. Any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we find out there are so many people that are facing these traumas, but maybe you talk with someone, but the background, maybe kissing tu bado unaenda kurudi, you're just going to be in that cage of that trauma. How can you advise those people? Like, they have not come out of the place which is causing them to have the traumas.
Well, this is case by case situation. Would you kindly give more context towards that?
Okay, let me say like, I'm facing some problems.
Which kind of problems? Be more specific.
Okay.
Be more specific towards the problem.
Okay, let me say like, pain because of, let me talk of the youth, like the relationship traumas, eh?
Uh-huh.
So you find that I'm going to look for a psychologist and then they advise you of what I'm going to do. But now they find that I'm still going back to that the same thing that is causing me to have the pains.
If it's relationship wise, there's also, I think it's a study or something. Say that a person goes back to the same relationship 7 times before they get the actual courage to step out of it. I believe you cannot be able to change someone.
Can invest, but you cannot.
Imagine how hard it is. Let's be honest. Imagine how hard it is to change one habit of yours. One. Si mingi, moja. Imagine sasa iko na habit ya, let me think. Iko na habit ya kusengenya watu. And I'm trying to cut back more on talking about other people. Imagine how hard it is for me to change one habit that is me. Be not being able to, and then imagine how hard it is to change somebody else. You cannot love someone into changing. You can only change with them as they change. But the more they change, you change with them. But you cannot love them into changing. Asa nikikupenda na nataka kuchange nikwambie, by the way, at least ukiacha vitu kwa mlango. That doesn't work. But if it's relationship wise, if I come and tell you, by the way, don't you see this person takes advantage of you when they do this to you? You already in love with them. You cannot be able to see that. But I think we need to reach a point where we have deal breakers when it comes to friendships and what you can be able to tolerate. Because it can't be the only thing we talk about is how this person does things to me. It's draining. It's absolutely draining. That only time I meet you, I come and say, but then unajua nimchapa. But then unajua nilipata kitext mtu mwingine. But then unajua jana kuja home. It's draining. You need to have limits to what we can be able to accept as friends and as people who have partners. You can be like, this is my threshold. I told you, boundaries is what I will do, not what you will do. To be like, but hey, this is as much as I can tolerate. And then past hapa, it can't work. Because I can love you, but you can go our different separate ways. It's never that serious. Love is where you can be able to love that person to the point where you can be able to live that. Love si kwenye una feel like I cannot be able to lose this person. That's not love. Ili I cannot be able to lose this person. You actually need rather than want to. Need is something you cannot live without. Want you can be able to live without, right? You need to want them, not need them. Right? And you actually need to have a threshold to what you can be able to tolerate as a person. You need to have a standard. You don't just flow the flow. You need to have a standard. My standard is when you do 1, 2, 3, I can hold. And I've communicated that. But when you do 1, 2, 3, 4, no. You communicated me like, this is my threshold. It's been real. It's been okay. But